Hey guys, for a change, I will be sharing my thoughts on a uniform the day that it is unveiled. Usually I wait a while after, and a lot of times that has to do with the fact that I'm way behind on other stuff, which I still am, but I'm going to maybe try, and I can't guarantee this, but I will start to try and actually film videos of uniforms the day they are unveiled for a change. I think that would be better, but remember, folks, especially to my regular viewers, I have no guarantee I'm going to be able to do that anytime soon, if ever. But anyways, as you can already tell, I'm sure I will be sharing my thoughts on the Edmonton Oilers brand spanking new, all navy blue and orange alternate uniform that was leaked a few years, not years, a few weeks back, sorry. And now the Oilers have decided to unveil it today instead of what everyone thought was going to be the grand unveiling of what was already leaked. As you can see here, this coming Saturday as I'm filming this, which today, as I'm filming this, it is September 12th, 2019. And as you can see here, this is the Edmonton Oilers' new third jersey, and it is completely devoid of white. There is absolutely zero white on this jersey and uniform at all. There's none. Absolutely none. So this is the front of it, and this is the back of it. So the first thing I want to talk about is that the numbers on the arms and the back, as you can see here, as well as the logo on the front, are 15% larger than the regular numbers and logo on the Edmonton Oilers regular home and away jerseys. And this is the new third jersey, and I will be sharing my thoughts on this in this video today. So back when the Oilers made an announcement of a new third jersey, when the news of the Oilers getting a new third jersey was posted by Aesthetics, I believe around December, myself and I'm sure quite a few people were really hoping that that meant the Oilers were finally going to pull their heads out of their butts and realize that the new bright orange and navy blue color scheme, especially those bright orange home jerseys, just weren't working and just not as good as the royal blue throwbacks. Well, folks, if you were like me, hoping the Oilers were going to go back to full-time retro again, I'm sorry, but you're out of luck. The Oilers have decided that, okay, we're wearing orange and navy blue now. We're going to do a navy blue jersey and a brand new alternate design that we have never done before. So, as you can see, the new Oilers logo on the front is 15% larger than the regular Oilers crest on their main jerseys, but notice that it is totally inverted and totally lacking white. It's basically the same type of monochromatic uniform style that we got this past season with those rather mediocre Stadium Series jerseys from this past season overall. I mean, I thought Pittsburgh's Stadium Series jersey this past season was actually not too bad, but the Flyers one, woo-wee, that thing was bad. It was a total atrocity and a half. In my opinion, that is one of the absolute worst jerseys of all time. It was really, really bad, and I know it's a matter of opinion, but honestly, folks, I thought the Flyers absolutely crapped the bed on that jersey. It was a bright orange jersey with black accents, a black logo, black numbers, and black or orange letters inside a black nameplate. And there was no white on the jersey whatsoever to help contrast it. If they would have just added white, that could have been a beautiful jersey. And on top of that, I actually would argue a step further in that it could have been a really good replacement for their current third jersey once its 2 years of service are up. But with how bad that jersey was, I hope they keep their current third jersey for at least another year. I'll take it over that if that's the type of new ideas the Flyers have been thinking of, Jesus Christ. Or I mean approving. But anyways, the Oilers have now followed suit with the Penguins and the Flyers and what they did for the most recent Stadium Series game this past season. And they've gone monochrome and completely void of white. So, honestly, in my opinion, I'm happy to say this, but the jersey looks a little bit better now that I've seen it compared to when it was first leaked. However, I still feel that this is rather mediocre. If this was a Stadium Series uniform, I would be a lot more okay with it. And also, if the Edmonton Oilers do elect to bring back their royal blue throwback jersey for at least a game or two this coming season again, which I think they should, and I hope they do, that would make this third jersey a lot more tolerable for myself as well. So notice the bottom of the jersey has a little bit of orange trim. Basically the same type of thing that the Flyers have on their third jersey, with a little bit of orange trim along the bottom instead of waist striping. Now notice the arms and notice the thin as hell pair of stripes that are very closely put together. See, I don't understand this. I don't understand why the Oilers did not have the striping spaced out more to break it up a little bit. That would have made this a lot better. On top of that, truth is, I actually like the monochrome logo that we've got on this jersey. I was actually impressed with it right away, to be honest. I wasn't expecting to be, but I was. I think it's kind of cool. But if you look at the collar, it's got the Adidas 3 laces in bright orange, and it's got a toilet seat type collar. See, I don't know why they couldn't have just made this a solid navy blue collar with a bit of orange piping. That would have been the best thing. Even if they kept the Adidas 3 laces, which if I had my way, they wouldn't have them, eh? I would have just had it as a navy blue collar with a little bit of orange piping along the top. Then that way you would have a clean collar design and you wouldn't have something that looks like a goddamned toilet seat. But anyways, this jersey to me is, for a third jersey, I find it tolerable, but I don't find it great. I really do believe that this is kind of a half-finished, mediocre type design. I mean, the whole uniform, I think, is going to be easier on the eyes than their orange home jersey. And usually I love orange jerseys, but my problem with the Oilers' new one is that, number one, it replaced something that was far superior, in my biased opinion, of course. And on top of that, I don't like the striping style with the bright orange jersey. The navy blue looks black, and the striping just doesn't look good. I feel like it makes it look a little bit too... I'm not sure how to put it, but with the thin navy blue stripe in the middle of the striping, the problem is that the navy blue looks black, and the white striping is not as noticeable, I find. Where what they should have done is they should have made their arm and waist striping the exact same as the WHA throwback. And to me, if they did that in navy blue, that would have made the jersey a hell of a lot better because there would have been more contrast. But anyways, let's take a look at the back. So the numbers have been elongated, and for a jersey that's trying something new and an attempt, and now since this is an attempt to be more of a modern style third jersey for the Oilers, when you're doing orange on navy blue with no white as an additional piece of contrast to the uniform, elongating the numbers, in my opinion, was a good idea. See, I'm going to be honest. I actually believe, and truth is, the Edmonton Oilers have sold me on the idea that a monochrome third jersey can be something new, something different, and it can technically work. But it's got to be a better design than this, in my opinion. And I really, for a third jersey, I'm okay with this. Believe it or not, I am okay with this. But as soon as it's time that the Oilers don't have to wear this anymore, I will be a happy camper if they decide to retire it, because, I mean, the logo's cool, and I tip my hat to the Oilers for trying something new. But just because you can try something new doesn't mean you necessarily should, in my opinion. Now, as I say that, on the other side of the coin, I do agree with Chris Smith of Aesthetics in the sense that, you know what, third jerseys should be an opportunity for teams to try something new. And I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I don't fully agree with it either. And my reasoning is because if you're going to create something new that's good, not something that's potentially good or kind of good or okay, or something that had the potential to be good like this. Make something that's, got some long-term use for it. Not in the sense that it's good enough that people want to keep it around long-term. To me, this looks like a uniform that could be easily recycled in a couple of seasons, and most people are probably not going to remember it or not really care about it being retired. Where if you look at a uniform like this one, which is the Edmonton Oilers 2000s alternate, it was 100% memorable, sorry. Memorable for all of the right reasons. The futuristic oil drop, the navy blue, white, and silver was a very nice color scheme. And you know what? The reason this was good, it was because it was something new that had a good design to it. It was something new, but it wasn't something mediocre. It didn't have a pair of stripes just closely put together. It didn't try to be a mix of, modern and minimalist. It was just a good design. And I hate to say it, but, is this a good design to me? No. Is the idea of bright orange on navy blue with zero white an idea that I've been sold on that I believe could work on a jersey if done right? Yes. But was this the answer to that? No. I don't believe that this was the design to go with. I mean, you've got this toilet seat collar, you've got a pair of thin orange stripes on each arm, and they're not going to be that visible during games, in my opinion. And that little bit of waist trim is just meh. This just looks like a generic modern style jersey design to me that we've seen in the past few years with Adidas. I mean, you had this type of simplicity with Pittsburgh Stadium Series uniform. Yeah, I mean, the Flyers Stadium Series turn third jersey has the same situation with just a little bit of orange trim on the bottom. I mean, I don't know about you viewers out there, but I just don't find this jersey that great. And so far, I've actually been rather surprised that it's got a better reaction on social media from what I've seen than I was expecting. And you know what? I'm glad that there are people out there that do like it. I mean, there's elements of this uniform that I do like. I think I tip my hat to the Oilers for trying something new. I actually really like the navy blue monochrome logo that's on this jersey. But my problem is that it's just too simple. It's just too plain. And I feel like they could have done something more exciting. So, anyways, I'm going to do something here, and I'm going to look at the Adidas press release and kind of read some of that because I want to talk about it a little bit. But I want to show you a picture of what the uniform is going to look like. Well, kind of. This is a shot with very low lighting where you can't really see the full uniform, eh? But on the socks, you see the same thin little pair of orange stripes put together. You can see the arm striping vaguely, or not very well here. But of course, that orange trim sticks out on the bottom of the waist striping, or the bottom of the waist of the jersey. I'm not going to call that waist striping. But when you look at this up close, does that not look like it's just going to be a single thin orange stripe on each arm and on each sock when the Oilers players are moving around on the ice? I don't know about you, but this jersey has, in my opinion, what the San Jose Sharks have had a problem with on their stealth third jerseys, in my opinion, that they brought out last year. Now, what San Jose's problem on their third jersey is, in my opinion, is that the teal stripes on each arm are so damn thin that with the dark gray circuitry board striping pattern, or circuitry board embroidery inside of the dark gray striping between the thin teal stripes on each arm, the dark gray bleeds into the black, and from a distance, the thin teal stripes bleed into the uniform, where at times when the players are moving around, they look like they're just wearing black practice jerseys, in my opinion. So the bright orange is definitely going to be more visible than the teal that the Sharks use, especially with how little they use it on their striping on their new third jersey. But you know what? This just this looks like it's going to be one bland-looking uniform on the ice. And just because something looks good on a computer screen, or like it will contrast, doesn't mean it's going to translate to the ice the exact same way. And it drives me crazy because, I mean, obviously this is not a great photo to be using to judge what the uniform is going to look on the ice, and I understand that. But you know what? Those thin orange stripes on the socks and on the arms, that's not going to look good. You're not going to really be able to see it very well from a distance. You're just not. You're just not going to be able to see it very well at all. And you'll see the orange, but you're not going to see the contrast very well, or the spacing of the orange striping at all. And if they went for that, I don't know why they did. Well, they did, but what I'm saying is I don't know why the Oilers elected to do this. If they would have even doubled the amount of space between those orange stripes on the socks and on the arms, that would have made a world of a difference. And also, I would argue that they should have made the orange stripes doubled each orange stripe, or doubled the size of each stripe on the arm, where each stripe was double the size and they had way more space between each other, so that you can actually see the orange and have the orange stripes broken up, and that they're far enough away from each other that you can see both stripes during gameplay. These are going to look muddled on the ice probably. I hope I'm wrong, but to me, this is not an exciting jersey. If you want to try something new, that's fine. But this was not the answer. And if we're not ever going to see the Edmonton Oilers royal blue jersey again for a long time, and we're going to just get that navy blue jersey instead, I'm going to be honest, folks, I am not too impressed. I mean, I tip my hat to the Oilers for trying something new and taking advantage of the fact that they've got they've taken advantage of their new color scheme and added a new navy blue jersey. But you know what? In my opinion, I think the Oilers could have done better. Now, what I'm going to show you is a couple of mock-ups that I made that if I was doing a monochrome orange or a navy blue and orange Oilers third jersey, that I would have done instead. So this is the first one. I used an Oilers logo that was being circulated around, but the one that I did after I saw the third jersey when it was leaked was this one right here. So I'll explain it and explain why something like this to me would look better. Number one, the orange striping on the arms would have been prominent if I had my way, where they're spaced far enough apart and they're thick enough that they're going to be prominently visible. I kept the orange trim to keep it as a relatively modern jersey. If you want to try something new and modern, okay. I mean, we can't just have the same thing all the time. It would get boring. So I'm not against teams trying something new, but it's when they create something mediocre like that, to me, is when I find I end up being really disappointed. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way. Now, notice the font. Now, here's another thing. We were hearing rumors for quite a while that the Oilers were planning on a navy blue third jersey that was inspired by elements from the Team North America 2016 World Cup uniforms. Well, why not do something a little more Team North America-esque? Instead of trying to be a mix of minimalist and modern that creates something mediocre, maybe go out a little bit more. Like what I did here is, and sorry to be, throwing in my own mock-up here, but I'm just trying to share what I would do because I think the idea could work as an alternate jersey. And the way the Oilers did it, in my opinion, just did not cut it. If you want to do elements from Team North America's jerseys, what about the stencil numbers? Something different. Also, another thing, heathered orange striping. That's what I did when I made this mock-up. I think something like this would have been a lot better because it would have been something a little bit more unique. It would have been something a little bit more different and would have been a hell of a lot less boring. Sorry to be biased, but I'm just saying, if you're going to do a third jersey, create something that's good and memorable, not something that's just easy to replace and totally expendable after its 2-year run of service that teams are required to keep an alternate around for. And as I've said earlier, I mean, I hope the Edmonton Oilers will bring back their royal blue throwbacks for at least a game or two this coming year. And you know what? If they do, which I really do hope they will, especially after seeing this, that would make this jersey a hell of a lot more tolerable for myself. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way, eh? So, the thing is that I could tolerate this uniform more if we're at least going to see the royal blue throwbacks, but from what I gather, we're not going to be seeing them anytime soon, and they will not be worn this season. Well, that stinks. Because, if we're just going to get this uniform on top of their orange home jersey that I've made it clear many times that I do not care for, well, I'm sorry, but I think the Edmonton Oilers have really crapped the bed. And this Adidas era of NHL uniforms, in my opinion, has not been good to the Edmonton Oilers. That's also because the Edmonton Oilers have made it that way. It's their choice to change uniforms, not Adidas. Just for the record. But you know what? For a third jersey, will this be the worst jersey of all time? No. The Philadelphia Flyers proved last season with their hideous Stadium Series uniforms that this could have been much, much worse. So I'll definitely take this over something that's as bad as what the Flyers had for their Stadium Series uniform last year. And I hate saying that because if the Flyers would have just added some weight to that uniform, it could actually have been a really, really great jersey and uniform. But in the Oilers' case, the orange on navy works. Orange is a bright color. It's a bright color on a dark color. And the orange is really bright, and it will contrast well enough that you'll be able to see this. But when I look at this, I think of Halloween. Now, I hope that when the Oilers do wear this full uniform, which it will be worn for Friday home games this coming season only, and I'm okay with that. One day a week where if the Oilers have a home game on a Friday, they do something different, I'm okay with that. But you know what? I'm sorry, I just don't love this uniform. I hate to say it, but the idea, I like the logo. I think the orange on navy actually works. And I believe that they could have actually created a design that was actually really cool. But instead they went with something rather plain and boring and minimalist, and I think it's backfired. And those two thin stripes on each arm and on each sock are too damn close together and not thick enough. You could have even had, like my mock-up, where there was one really big stripe and a smaller stripe. That would have worked too. At least in my opinion. But you know what? These two stripes needed to be split up more so that there is a better contrast of color. Having it together is going to look muddled during gameplay. I can almost guarantee it. And I'm going to be honest, it could have been worse, but I'm still disappointed. And I actually believe that the Oilers could have done this orange on navy blue business and actually did something really cool. The idea is unique. I tip my hat to them for the creativity, but I just feel like the execution's just not there. It could have been so much better. But anyways, I just want to read something here from Adidas and the Oilers press release. It says here, fusing sport and culture. The special edition jersey features modern and futuristic design elements that create a clean, sleek, and bold new look for the Oilers. If you want to call it clean, I would call it half-finished and boring, to be honest. I don't think it's that bold. I think it's bland. And what's the part about fusing sport and culture? It sounds like corporate talk. And then this part here, it says the Oilers Addy Zero. Of course, they have to throw that in, right? Alternate jersey and live-ins. Ooh. The franchise's emblematic kit with a two-tone orange on blue colorway, merging modernity with legacy. My bad. The primary tone completes the set of white, orange, and now navy, providing an all-new but familiar feel for the club and its fans on the street, outdoor rink, and arena. I don't think the fans are familiar with a solid navy blue uniform with nothing but bright fluorescent orange on it. But anyways, I digress. And it says, rendered in glossy orange twill and embroidery. Can't forget that part. The crest and numbering are 15% larger for a striking aesthetic. Now, the reason it's 15% larger is because if it wasn't, it'd be a lot harder to see, not to make it more striking. So that part, I don't agree with. Now, okay, a distinguished element of symmetry on the piping and hem complements the minimalist design. A distinguished element of symmetry? What the hell does that mean? Okay, you can do... Why do minimalist when you could do a good design? If they wanted to keep it minimalist, they could have spaced those two orange stripes on the arms and the socks more so that there's a better color contrast and a better appearance of the design. The striping looks better when it's a little bit farther apart, in my opinion. Just ask the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, do you think it would look better if the Maple Leafs home and away jerseys had their white stripes or their blue stripes on whatever jersey they're wearing, whether it's the home or away, that close together? People would not like it. I guarantee it. And then this says, when unveiled as one piece of a more powerful on-ice display, the Oilers Adizero alternate jersey inspires the fusion of urban trends with oil country's deeply rooted hockey history. Okay. I guess the uniform will be worn exclusively by the team on Friday night home games this year. So at least there's one night a week only that we have to see this uniform, which I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to seeing it just to see what it looks like. But I love the idea of the logo on this jersey. That looks really good, but the rest of it, not so much. But anyways, you guys, I would love to hear what other people think about this. Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? I'd be curious to know. But you want to know what, guys? On a final note, I'm gonna just say this. This, to me, was a great Oilers third jersey. Where this, not so much. It could, and the sad part is I think that it's actually some tweaks away from being a really cool idea. But anyways, on that note, folks, I have been talking for 28 minutes. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. And on that note, folks, I will call it a wrap on this video. And with that, take care. And of course, as always, you guys, bye for now.